All right, welcome to the Larry Needles Show. I'm Larry. Needles isn't here. I
And
got my,
I'm Old Joe.
I got my dad with me, and we're gonna talk some. We're gonna talk about some stuff today, and some interesting things. Like right off the bat, I mean, I guess we could get right into it. Well, by the way, this is our second anniversary of 2 years. Yeah,
Oh. Second anniversary for the Larry and Needles show.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we could just do some review and talk about things that are happening here in
Yeah, let's
this
talk
crazy
about let's
world.
talk about what happened last week and what's going to happen tomorrow when you went to the
Oh, yeah.
Elon Musk protests slash Tesla.
Right. After watching a lot of YouTube stuff and seeing some of these protesters,
Yeah.
I wanted to experience it
Right.
as a hands-on situation. So I decided to take a ride last Saturday to an active protest taking place in a town real close to where we're at here. And I put on not a Trump hat, but I did put on a military hat that I had.
Marines.
A former Marine. And I put the hat on, and it was pretty prevalent. It had a big USMC on there. And I proceeded to go over to the demonstration, and it wasn't too long before, even though I didn't have a Trump hat on, that I was engulfed in these demonstrators who I tried to engulf is a funny word because it took place on Gulf Road.
Yeah.
So that's pretty funny. So
Yeah.
just trying to converse with them, I saw one person holding an American flag, which I thought was totally out of place. And when I approached him, it turned out he was a Trump supporter.
Right.
So that was good. So there was him, and I said, well, I know where you're coming from, and I'm on board with you. And we shook hands, and he thanked me for my service. And I said, but I'm going to go over there. And he said, well, I'm going to tell you, you might get roughed up. And I said, well, I've been roughed up before, so let's give it a whirl. And before very long, I was in the middle of this group, again, just
Engulfed on golf.
yeah, just trying to engage them in conversation and actually try to just get their views and listen to them in a calm direction, with the respect that they were on both sides of the street.
Right.
So as I engaged one side of the street, the level of excitement was going up with them. We weren't far away from the F words yet. And I was just trying to engage. Like the one guy, I asked him, I said, now, what is it that you're here protesting? It's Elon Musk. He's got to go. And he just went off on
Yeah.
Elon. And I said, do you realize you're actually protesting your own demise? Because you are a stockholder in Elon's company. If you have a 401, an IRA, you have that in your portfolio.
Right.
The biggest owners, first of all, Elon Musk owns less than 13% of
Right.
the company,
Right.
which is an amazing fact in itself.
It is.
You got Vanguard, the next biggest holder. You got BlackRock, those lowlifes, and you got J.P. Morgan
Those are the
Chase.
people who own Tesla.
Yeah, they're vested
Oh,
in Tesla,
man.
and they're they're
Shit, I didn't know
9%, 8%. Any mutual fund that you own Tesla. So these people are out there demonstrating the demise of this guy, and I'm trying to tell him
And it's money out
this
of their
man
own
that owns this
pocket.
dealership, he's just trying to make a living. You know,
Right.
I mean, he's not here. There's no political agenda. And once they got boxed in and they saw the logic that they lack, that's when they started with the F you, get out of here. And, so I'm not backing down. All of a sudden, here comes the reinforcements from across the street.
Now, Yeah. Well, are you gonna say how wide the street is?
The street is unbelievable.
And
It's
busy.
3 lanes in each direction. It's the main thoroughfare through this
Plus
through
double
this
turning
sign.
lanes.
It's all cars sales places. It's just one of many. So this is a busy street, and now we're not at a corner, so they're risking their life coming
jaywalking.
across. Yeah, they're jaywalking, coming across the street with their poorly made signs. Oh, the stuff on their signs was just, I was embarrassed for them.
Yeah.
So at any rate, about 15 minutes passed. I had my camera out on my phone, but unfortunately, I'm not. I didn't. I did something wrong, and I missed such beautiful footage. I had a woman in front of me pushing the sign in my face. I says, "Why don't you lower that sign so I could see your face? Are you ashamed of yourself, or what is it that you're trying to hide from? I'm just asking you some questions." And this is about the tone of my voice, and they're just now they're going. The FUs are flying like crazy, and they're giving me the one finger, and I says, "I didn't ask you about your IQ. I just I just wanted to get some information from you." Anyhow, it didn't go well at all. It didn't go well at all.
You know what's funny is a lot of these things you see them and the signs are matching, perfect signs.
Yeah, those are the
Beautiful
ones that are
artwork.
being paid and
Right.
organized.
This one must have been an organic
It was.
uprising.
It was because there was some very there was. I mean, one thing that demonstrators have in common, they're all ugly and angry.
Yeah.
I noticed that, and I also noticed that the women are worse than the men. I
Right.
mean, they have no. I mean, they just yell and scream. So I don't know what happened, but the police came and singled me out,
Right.
and I expressed myself very calmly. I don't want to get in a confrontation with the police. I said, "Well, I'm just here asking a few questions. I have the right to be here." And he said, "Yes, I know you do." He said, "But you're kind of instigating, you're agitating a situation here." And he didn't ask me to leave directly, but he suggested that I leave
He
that
wouldn't mind
area.
if you did.
Yeah, yeah. Life would have been a lot easier for the protesters,
That's interesting.
and probably me too. So, I just couldn't. I just couldn't believe it. I had a plan to be there a little bit longer, but yeah, I left and I was cooperative. And but to get them riled and get them angry,
Yeah.
you really don't have to do anything. All you
Yeah.
got to do is be there. You don't even need a hat. And we see so many guys on YouTube with the gumption to go on there with the
Yeah. MAGA.
the MAGA hats. They're like, oh my, they really go crazy. I was wishing I had a hat, so if I go again, and I really don't plan to, that was a spontaneous thing, I would wear my Marine Corps cap and my Trump shirt. And,
there
just,
you go.
just walk around,
Yeah.
I have one thing going for me. They won't lay their hands on me because I am old.
Yeah,
and
but
I use the
that's-
military,
Sometimes they don't care.
I know. They were getting up in my face. Jeez, I couldn't believe how easily they're riled. They have no. It's like a tree without any roots.
Yeah.
They have no. They have no idea why they're there. You said, well, just give me a couple of examples. Like they're telling me anybody was better than Trump. Kamala Harris. I said, well, what did she accomplish? Anything? And we're not talking to you. And they get all frustrated.
Yeah,
and leave
that's
them. But
great.
They
That's
won't.
great.
They won't engage. They just won't engage. But the silliness of these people, it's the demise of Tesla stock is going down. So is their 401s and all of their like the guy from Minnesota, Tampon
Tim Waltz, Tampon Tim. What
He's
a dumb
over there
fuck.
yelling and praising that it's going down,
And they own 1 million shares or
his
something.
state. Their
Yeah.
retirement and their pension plans is based on Elon Musk. So,
Yeah, yeah. Such a genius. What a dumbass that guy is. And
It's a sad, sad world we live in. It really is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I like what I was watching Gutfeld last night, I think he said. Jasmine Crockett is like Cardi B with a head injury.
If that's at all possible.
I was like,
Oh
oh,
my
that's
gosh.
perfect. It was very
Uh,
funny.
that is
It's so
amazing.
funny.
It really is amazing. I love it. I
I do
love it
too.
that
I
they can
think
get
it's
so easily
excellent.
riled. I've never seen anything quite like it. They and now he's going to be gone. Probably he's got about 40 days left,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he's gonna go back to what he really does. The man has lost, up to date here, $115 billion. That's what he's lost, and he only owns about a little less than 13% of the company.
How
So
could you
can,
lose 115 billion?
115 billion from the depression of the stock. The stock at the high point was $488. The stock today, it closed at about, today was oh my gosh, the market went in a dump. It closed today around $224, $25.
Wow.
So it's less than half. Now that's a high point. He didn't. This whole thing didn't start at the 488.
Yeah.
It came down. If a guy's got balls, you should be buying and money. You
Yeah.
should be buying Tesla with both hands, because he's coming out with the Pi phone or the Pi phone. Have you heard about this?
No.
Oh my gosh. If it does half the things they're saying it's going to do, it'll make the Apple look like crap.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's only 6 to 8 months away, and it's going to
wow.
be under $200. So he's going after that market now, And then another
Wow.
2, 3 years, we're going to have affordable robots that you and I, if we had that kind of money,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess they're going to be like 30,000 or something like
That's
that.
a lot, Scott.
But the thing will cut your grass. It's an amazing.
But I thought, then what about the illegal aliens that are cutting the lawn? Isn't that going to fuck them up? I mean, aren't they against that? They should be, right?
Well,
they
now,
probably will be.
You want some convoluted thinking? Maybe that's Musk's scheme. Get rid of the illegal aliens, so there'll be
Replace
the demand for his robots.
Absolutely.
I gotta pass that on to the Democrats.
Yeah.
They're gonna run with that. That's a good one. I just thought of that as we speak here.
Yeah, so me and Mary worked at the.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, but we worked at the last Tuesday, on April 1st, the election, and we were so busy. We were like the busiest. We were the busiest place in Illinois.
That is
Our
amazing.
location.
I must
The guy
say,
told us.
shame on
One of
me.
these poll workers, but one
Where
of the
were you?
poll
Where
watchers.
were you?
Addison, in Addison Township, in the building. It's
By Kennedy there,
Addison
off of Lake Street.
yeah, Lake
Yeah.
and Addison.
Yeah, the street is Kennedy behind there. Yeah, that's the
But
village
no,
hall
it wasn't.
and all that.
No, it wasn't that. It was on Addison Road.
Oh, is it on
Yeah, you take.
Because I've been through some business meetings.
I
there.
thought it was going to be there too.
Yeah,
but
it was on the
not
other
there.
side. It wasn't facing. Okay, because if you take that one street, it just goes right into the
Yeah.
village there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were busy, huh?
Oh yeah.
Did they have a mayoral election? Did they get a new mayor?
Yeah.
or
Well,
something? I don't.
they had all kinds of elections, and there was election for DuPage County. Do you want to have some certain tax? No, I don't want that tax.
Is that DuPage County there?
Well, here's the thing. Each person gets a custom ballot by depending where you live.
So it's probably a
It does-
crossover thing.
No,
Cook
there's
and
all
DuPage?
kind. Every single person gets a different ballot.
Oh,
Because
so
they're
you
printed
tell
up
them.
custom as you go there. They know your address by where you live on
So
your
when you give them the name, they generate the.
ballot, and so my
Oh.
ballot and Mary's ballot it won't be the same as the person sitting right next to me.
Were you able to vote there?
I voted, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you didn't have to be in your own township. Or
No,
anything?
that's why they do the custom ballots now. Don't you remember when you came and voted? The thing printed up both sides. Because
Yeah, but I didn't know that was a custom. I
yeah,
thought
in
that
the
just
old days you had to go to your exact place because they had the stack of ballots or the machine with the thing with all the same ballots in there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they couldn't, you can't vote here. You don't live in this district. Now it doesn't matter where you go because they print as you need it.
Oh, I didn't
Absolutely.
realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Jeez.
Because
Yeah, there was over 700 people or something that voted there.
774 people voted in the
Wow,
place
that's a
we were
lot.
at. Yeah. And that's not even, it's not even a big election. I think the guy said 1,300 for the presidential election there at that place.
Oh, they did 1,300 for the
Yeah,
president.
yeah,
Oh, so that's a lot then. If
yeah,
you did seven, jeez, holy
yeah. Well,
cow.
almost eight, really. I mean, 774. It was. Well, I was shocked because they told us, when they emailed, oh, it's going to be dead. Bring a book and
That's
all
what I
that.
thought. I thought this really didn't mean anything, and it's going to be deader than a doornail.
And it turned out to be kind of busy. I mean,
Wow.
it was like, wow. It's almost like a regular.
I'm ashamed to say I didn't vote. I don't know who ran. I don't know. I have no idea what was going on there. That one, it just snuck up on me. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, you see some
Well, it's a
lawn
weird
signs,
one.
and if I,
It's a
I
weird
wonder where they
timing.
advertise. Yeah, it's like in the middle of nowhere. I wonder where they advertise the. Because I mean, we don't watch regular network TV, so
Right.
maybe
Right.
that's why we weren't aware of it. Huh?
Well,
That's another thing that people. You watch Fox, you're brainwashed. They're brainwashing, and the lies that they're listening to. It's just it's amazing. All they do is ridicule Trump, who has a plan.
right.
And he knew this was going to happen.
Sure,
Maybe
sure.
it's a little worse than he thought with the market. The market today just
But that's
dumped.
also because they're a bunch of bitches that get all panicky, too. It's going to come back.
If you listen to the real financial guys, they're kind of. I listened to one guy, that black guy with the plaid suits and all that shit.
Charles Payne.
Yeah, he said, I don't want to. I don't want to say it, but he says, but I'm kind of licking my chops here, because this is the time to buy, but you got to have the balls to do it. I don't even think it hit the low yet. I think we're going to be in another week of. It's what it's bad for the guy that has to retire,
Right now
and then
and
he has to
cash
take.
in.
Well, a lot of times they give you 60 days to take your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's 60 days. Now they got to take that money at the lowest point. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right,
they're
right.
going to feel it.
So they
But
get fucked on their stocks that they have.
yeah, but they're probably in a little stuff that's too aggressive. But the average person, if you don't do nothing, it's going to come back. The stock market's going to come back. It's that's the way it goes. Even healthy stocks. I mean, geez, everybody took a hit.
It's
just,
amazing.
yeah, but he knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Now we need some of them are coming around, but that's the thing. These people that are out there demonstrating, they don't even understand or
What's
know
going on.
Right? They don't even know about America. We were founded on tariffs.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Was Wilson, Woodrow Wilson, is the one who put the income tax in. We didn't
Yes.
have income tax. And that's not, it's not 2,000. I mean, 200 years ago
No,
that
it's
happened.
recent.
It's not that long
I
ago.
think it was right after World War One or two.
No, this was before World War II. And there's another one. Talk about Biden. Now the books are all coming out like
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Well, Wilson had a stroke, and his wife was running the country. And the guy was like, but what they're saying about Biden, the books that are coming out, oh,
Dr. Jill's not
jeez.
qualified to run the country, though.
Oh.
That's the difference. She is a fucking idiot.
Oh my.
He was an idiot before he was completely senile, and that guy is, oh man, it's so great. All these, but here's the other thing. So okay, they're writing their books now. They're cashing in. What about letting the country go down the toilet and not saying anything sooner?
And that's another thing about these demonstrators. How could they align themselves with these people that had lied to them for 4 years? They knew he was not capable of it.
Absolutely.
Jeez, his right hand guy, what's his name, Ron something or other,
Ron Klain.
who was trying to get him, yeah, prime for the debate.
Yeah.
He said the guy was like, "I want to go lay by the pool," and they say, "Oh my gosh,
They
oh
said,
my gosh."
okay, they prepped him. Okay, they were going to have a 90-minute debate. They ended up doing 40 minutes or so of it, and he said, I can't handle it anymore. Then the second debate, or maybe the first one they did, was supposed to be another 90-minute thing, and he was in there for like 20 minutes. And he's like, I want to go take a nap. I want to lay down. I'm tired.
Oh,
And so
gosh.
they let him because he's the president, but obviously he wasn't. And that's the other thing. Who should be hanged by the neck for treason for all this? There's so
Really?
much treasonous shit that went on. It's ridiculous.
They talk about
Treason, actual treason.
Absolutely. They talk about Musk again. He wasn't elected. We elected Trump. What is he doing here? Well, the guy that were running the country here, they
Appointed
weren't
him.
elected either. They were just
Absolutely.
non-governmental people that were making the decisions on our
And
country.
these NGOs.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know who I heard say it, but one of these smart money guys, and he said NGO is basically synonymous with money laundering. That's all it is a money laundering deal. So,
Everybody got wealthy there. All that money they pushed out, and these demonstrators also support the fact that we're giving money through all the country.
Yeah.
That's how we have peace, and it's like a kid with a baseball bat, but he can't play ball. Well, I'll share all my stuff with you. If you'll be my friend. We don't
Right.
have to do that.
Yeah.
We were the most powerful country in the world at one point. And this had to be done. If you look at back in the history here, not you don't have to go that far
Not
back.
far.
I'm talking the '90s. They knew there had to be adjustment, but nobody had the balls to do what it was
Right.
because they're always looking at re-election. Trump's not going to be re-elected.
Right.
He's not looking for that. Somebody had to have the balls to step up. Otherwise, there'd be no country.
Yeah.
There would not be a country. Countries go bankrupt. We've seen it in Venezuela.
Yeah,
We've seen
yeah.
it in a lot of countries where the money isn't worth shit.
If it was a business, every person would be fired. First of all, it would already be out of business, bankrupt, and everybody would be looking for a different job. I mean,
Right.
everybody would be fired. This
Private
business-
sector could not. That's why when they say that Trump uses that, they never made payroll and they never signed
Yeah.
the payroll. That's what I think these demonstrators. I mean, I was holding myself back. I could have really
Laid in
ripped them. You know what I mean? But well, what am I doing? They're too
It's
dumb.
Teachers, social workers, and people that sponged off the system. I hate to belittle or say teachers aren't the greatest thing, but they're not.
They're
They
not.
Suck.
They're
They suck.
They're vested and they
They're
don't have to.
stupid.
They can't get fired. Did you see what they're
My teachers
talking
were all
about?
shit.
All shit. you
Yeah,
think?
terrible.
Oh.
Terrible. I think.
Well, yeah, I think so. I know my situation going to parochial school, which will probably lead us back into another subject. I'm going to parochial school with these nuns with the habits on. They haven't been married. They know nothing about children, and they got to deal with these young
Kids.
boys that are full of testosterone and they're ready to explode at any minute. They weren't qualified for that. The only thing they were qualified is the hour of religion you got every day. So that wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else and I lost it about these demonstrations. Anyway, but they just don't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. In Chicago now, the teachers, or I don't know if it's the teachers or who it is, they're trying to pass a law that they get to review the curriculum. Did you
Yes,
see
I
that?
heard this.
Did you see that?
And
Of the
if-
homeschool children?
And they want to put the parents in jail if they don't follow the exact scheme of things. Yeah,
I can't
that's
even.
terrible.
I can't even. I think of Nick's wife, Leah.
Right, right.
Homeschooling Noelle and Alex, and I mean, the kids are smart as a whip. She was
Yeah.
certainly qualified to do it.
Yeah.
And these mothers, they're. If you're going to tackle that, you better be qualified because you're doing your kid an injustice if you're not. But why
But
is
if
it
you
their
are-
business?
Yes, but if you are
Jeez.
qualified, nobody cares more than the actual mom.
Absolutely.
The teacher doesn't care. I mean, she
Absolutely.
wants to grade these papers and watch whatever dumb show and drink wine. It's not like
There's one thing that comes to mind when they were, and I think Alex, being younger, was doing the same work that Noelle is. That's why
Right.
he's so darn smart. She was doing some history thing about different countries, and this particular one was about India. So that night she had Indian food for the kids, and she stayed with the whole theme. So I mean, come on, gee
Right,
whiz!
right.
And then when it was time, they went to regular school. They weren't hurting socially or anything like
Right.
that. I mean, gee whiz!
no,
But
they weren't.
wow, how could you do that?
And Leah was good as
She-
far as
she-
being a teacher would go, and
They had the discipline, they had it all. She was very qualified. But I mean, how could they interfere with these people's lives? We're gonna
That's what they
jail
do.
you and fine you and geez.
leave it to Illinois, leave it to Chicagoland, and these.
We're a
crooked-
leader, all right.
Yeah, crooked,
Down.
crooked as could be. I think I'm gonna move this a little closer.
I think we're way down on the runs of education. I know
Way
that.
down. We're
Jeez.
number one on spending, and we're 40. I think dead fucking last.
Well,
in-
if
in-
not last, I think we're like 47 or 48. You're right. We're number one per cost per child.
Yes.
And we're down all the way on the bottom.
Yeah, I
We're
think I
lower
heard
than
48 or
any
something.
Asian country. Our eighth grader is equivalent to a fourth grader in Asia.
Yeah.
Reading level.
I think I
math.
heard third grader, but
Well,
yeah, that sounds about right.
I think it was third grade. Actually, I do think that,
And it's just horrible. So we're complete idiots, total idiots.
And you got to have math. You can every day. You're figuring out your bills, the taxes you're paying.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
could they let that slip? It's craziness. Jeez.
So how about they're doing some math problems. They're in the ghetto, and they can't figure shit out, and they're trying to do fractions and such. And so the teacher says, "Well, what if you get like an ounce of Coke?" And then they break it down like that, and then all of a sudden the kids could do math.
the
and it
light
was like-
goes on.
Yeah, and it was like, oh yeah, oh wow, I didn't realize we were.
Is that what those numbers are?
Yeah,
An ounce of Coke,
exactly.
28 grams, and they split it up and they get it selling.
Yeah. I got to get a water real quick.
Go
But
right
yeah,
ahead.
so they actually then all of a sudden knew how to do
The light goes
the
on.
math. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to get a water. What's up, Mary?
I got a lot of things I could say about that, but I don't want to seem racist.
Yeah,
And those poor kids, the inner city kids, are the ones that are
suffering.
paying. Yeah, they're paying for it. They're paying for it in spades. Jeez.
Absolutely.
But on a lighter note, if there's such a thing,
right?
oh gosh, life is good. It's still the greatest country in the world,
Yeah, absolutely. After all that shit.
and it even got better because you got Rosie O'Donnell moved out.
Yeah, how about that? That's awesome.
I was surprised they took her.
Yeah, me too. What a miserable fucking dyke.
Wow,
I mean, she is the worst.
a very, very, very bitter person.
Well, she was a comedian, right? That's how she
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It's so long ago. I don't even remember her being funny.
Me either.
I don't remember her being funny. I do remember Whoopi Goldberg when she came on, when she first started. She was genuinely funny. She had the dreadlocks with the big hat, covering all her locks and all that. You might be
Yeah,
too young. I
I
don't know.
remember
Yeah,
her too when she came
she
out,
was
but
funny. She
she
was funny.
is just oh, there's
Now
no
she's
one
off the
that's
deep end.
worse.
Yeah.
I had this Rolling Stones album, some live album from I don't know where, and she introduces the Stones on the record. Ladies and gentlemen, blah blah blah, at the concert, and I'm like, they got to put fucking Whoopi Goldberg on their album. Nah, I don't even like Mick and Keith anymore. They're a couple of jagoffs
Oh
too.
my gosh, it sure turned out that way.
Yeah, totally.
I think her name was
Ki-
Karen Johnson.
Absolutely,
She
Karen
comes up,
Johnson.
she picks Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so stupid. I remember one Whoopi Goldberg movie I saw. I think it was called The Telephone or The Telephone Call. I think it was just called The Telephone. And the whole time, it shows her in her New York apartment, and it's a small room, and she's on the phone the whole time, talking to different people, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's going on. And I think at the end, the phone company comes to collect the phone, and it's not even working, and she's out of her mind.
Oh.
You know, because you didn't even own them back then.
Oh. I just seen
And
the,
it was a long, long time ago when I saw this movie.
that's interesting because I just seen um, a, 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 a thing on TV. I think the name of it is Banshee. It's a town. It's a brutal series. Oh my gosh, it's really
Well,
brutal.
that
But the guy's runs away from his family, and he meets this girl in like a hobo type situation, and she said, "I'm on my way to Vegas. My girlfriend Zoe is waiting me for there, and I got to take this call." And so it's going all the way. The whole thing is going along like that. He comes up in the morning. She's out in front. Yeah, no, I'm only a few days. I told you I would call you, and I'll be there. So now they're in a situation where there's other homeless people that are on the run or whatever they are. And she's got her phone and she's talking and she puts her phone on the way. The guy says, "Could I use your phone? I want to call. I want to call somebody. They come and pick me up. I'll get a lift." No, you can't use my phone. Yeah, I just want to make one call. And they start pushing and shoving.
Find out
and
it doesn't
he
work.
grabs the phone. There's nothing on the thing. It's the same idea.
Yeah. Well, that was the last good movie that Whoopi Goldberg made, and I think she was about 19 years old at the
Well,
time.
her claim to fame was the movie Ghost.
I didn't see that
Well,
one.
it was Demi Moore,
Dummy whore, as I like to call her.
yeah, and the guy that was the dancer in that Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
He dies and he comes back to her, and Whoopi gets involved. Anyways, it was a big time movie. It was very big. Um,
Sounds dumb.
no, it wasn't though. If you saw it,
Oh, okay.
it was a good movie.
Of course, I didn't see it.
Most of
I
them
never
are,
see any of these movies.
And then she was in all those stupid nun movies. She was a nun and all that.
I never saw any of those movies either.
Well, there you didn't miss much.
Yeah, I can't stand her. And you know who else I can't stand is Will Ferrell. You know, that goofy fucking guy. I think he's the anchor man or the weatherman.
I used to like that guy, but now he gets on my nerves. I can't stand him. He maybe came out with some derogatory marks about Trump or something.
I don't
something.
think so. I just think he's not funny.
No. I didn't think he was funny on Saturday Night Live.
No, not at all.
I thought he was always,
dumb. He's a retard. The guy's a fucking retard, I think.
He's a rich retard.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much.
And now I don't like the Red Hot Chili Peppers by proxy, not only because they suck, but because the drummer looks exactly like Will Ferrell. Did you ever see that?
Oh, no, I have no idea.
They actually have them both on one of these talk shows, and They got Will Ferrell dressed like the drummer for the Red Hot Chili
Oh,
Peppers.
you know what? I did see something like
Wearing
that.
the
You're
same-
right. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
bandana.
really looks like him.
Yeah,
And
like
I think Will Ferrell plays the drums a little too.
well, they sit them both down. That's how you could figure out who's who.
Right, but he
Because
is.
Will Ferrell cannot play the drums.
Oh, okay.
He
I-
sucks.
I
He
must
has-
have seen the same
Not
thing
only does
because
he suck as a fucking comedian, he sucks as a musician too. If he's actually trying,
I must have turned that off. I didn't see
yeah.
I didn't see the whole
And
thing.
it's pretty wild. It's like, wow, this guy is the spitting image of the drummer from the Chili Peppers.
Oh, jeez.
But that guy's a stroke too. As far as I'm concerned, I mean,
You know what the thing is that they, and again, years ago,
Hollywood. Hollywood
they,
fruitcakes.
well, years ago they didn't come out with their political agendas. You know what I mean? You didn't know what the person was, or did you care?
No.
It wasn't an issue. It wasn't divided like it is now.
Well, nobody
I mean,
cared.
Right. I mean, to come out and give your political views, you're alienating 50% of the market that is buying tickets for your shows. Why not just keep your mouth shut? Like De Niro, I refuse to watch
Or
a
as it
movie with the
turns-
guy in there.
Me too. And as
I'm
it
done.
turns out, maybe it's 100% of the people that buy tickets to the shows. Because as it turns out, the liberals are too cheap to go to the movies at all because the box offices are fucking totally failing.
Oh my gosh, are they failing? Oh, then the girl with that the
Snow
Snow
White.
White movie, they said it cost $300 million, and right before the movie comes out, she comes with some political shit. I don't even know what she said.
And then they said,
but the first weekend it took in 30 million. The opening weekend you're supposed to be
Really
you know,
jacking it.
It only goes down from there.
yeah. And here's the other thing. I heard something that about like whatever the movie costs, they spend double or triple on
Promoting, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they really lost their ass with that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that one bombed, and so did the De Niro movie. It's another mob movie.
He can't act. He does the same character every time.
Well, in this one, he plays this two different roles.
Ah.
Like he's at a table talking to himself. You know,
Aye.
he's supposed to be Frank Costello, which was some mobster guy in New York, and then I forget who the other guy is, but you know. But and his voice sounds exactly the same. One, he's got a prosthetic nose on. I've seen the ads for it. But normally, you know, in the old days, I would have went and saw that
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
by the guy who did Casino and some good movies. You know.
Yeah, right.
Those were good ones.
I never saw Casino.
Oh, you got something to look forward to.
Ah,
That was an excellent
can't
movie.
handle all that.
No? Mm. Did you see Goodfellas?
Yeah,
Mm.
that was good.
And so was Casino. I think Casino was better for me because I knew the story of the Spilotro
characters,
guys.
yeah.
They were from the neighborhood,
Right.
and I knew them, and you know they had been in this. They'd been in the store, you know what I mean.
Right.
So it's really brings it to life. You know, you knew about them, you knew their friends. You know, the one they had another brother. He was real. Well, probably shouldn't be saying that, but he's probably dead. If not, he should be. But he was a card player, and he fancied himself as being real slick. His claim to fame was that was his brother. You know, the guy. You know, they lived off his fame. And then there was one other brother who was the dentist, who
Huh.
had a normal, you know, a normal life. You know.
Interesting.
It was supposed to be the Spilotros, is who it was based on. And you know, we knew the story, and I think Nikki Calabrese was there in Bensonville when the hit went down.
Huh.
So there you go. You know, I mean, how close could I be? You know. Oh God,
Crazy.
what a
crazy.
life! I remember the one guy. He comes in the store. He's dead now. Statute of limitations ran out on him. He comes into the store. He had a girlfriend that went to the beauty school 2 doors down. So he's like, they're out there. The cops are out. I'm going to walk out. They're going to grab me. So he said, let me leave my shit here. So he's going through his pocket. He's got his top coat on. He pulled out a bottle of Melex,
Maalox.
Maalox. The thing was this big. I never saw anything so big. The guy's like, it was a nervous wreck. The guy, it was a nervous wreck. Chewed up the filters on his cigarettes, and sure enough, he went out and they grabbed him.
Did they?
Yeah, they arrested him. And then he went off and then come back later, and then.
That's weird.
Yeah, very, very weird. And then the 7 guys that did Ricardo's house, that broke into Ricardo's house, probably 4 of them I knew pretty well.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And the one guy was a really strange guy. He liked green shoes. There's other guys that I won't
Green
mention his
shoes.
last name, but he liked blue shoes. Jimmy. I'll just give you his first name. You know who it is. So he liked blue shoes. This guy, green shoes. How many green shoes could I have? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I had them. These are the men's store. I had green shoes. So he comes in. Now they rob Ricardo's house, which I don't know what they were thinking. That is so stupid. This guy's going to find out like that. So he finds out who the 7 guys are. He's got them. He's got them marked. So this guy knew his destiny. He knew where he was going. He comes in and he wants to give me his gold thing hanging from his neck. It's Saint Demas. That's the patron saint of thieves.
Oh, nice.
Who, if you go through the Bible and through the theologians and stuff, he was one of the first saints to be canonized. His claim to fame is, when you get up there, tell your dad, I'm sorry, I love you, and Jesus said, today you will be with me in paradise. And that was it. He was saved, There's 4 views in the gospel on it, but one we get saved. But anyhow, anyway,
so he's
Steve
one of
comes
the
in.
guys on the cross right there with Jesus.
He's one of the thieves.
Wow.
Yeah, right. He's one of
Wow.
the thieves.
Interesting. I did
yeah.
not know that.
But all 4 gospels treat that moment a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's interesting. And I think John is the only one says about paradise. So he comes in and he wants to give me this. I mean, the thing had to be that big. It was huge.
Wow.
And they're heavy. They're gold. These guys got money. And he knew that
He
his
was
days were
dead.
numbered. But I didn't take it. I told him to give it to somebody in his family. You know what I mean? I didn't want that because if he mentioned that he gave it to somebody, who knows what's going to happen? Somebody be coming in looking for it. And I really, truly, I didn't. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to wear it somewhere? You know what I mean? I'm on the other side of the equation there.
Yeah.
I'm a white collar criminal, not like them. You know.
Right.
And sure enough, every one of them was popped.
Yeah.
And one guy, which I really didn't shed a tear about, he wasn't there, but he was with the guy, one of the guys when he was popped, So he was collateral damage.
Right.
And they were both big guys, but somehow they fit in one trunk, so they did a lot of bending and,
Yeah.
So every one of them went, and I mean, I can't imagine. It's almost like a death wish. You're going to go get the
Yeah,
top
why
guy.
the fuck would you do that? You have to be nuts.
I remember when the store got hit one time on Chicago Avenue. They came in and they, what they did years ago, the alarms were, I found this out that the store was in police training film. Because when the 2 males were going through to become cops. Years ago, the alarms were local, If you broke something, the alarm would go off and, it's in the middle of the night. Later,
No one heard it.
Well, if they heard it, it did scare off the thieves, Later on, they became, silent alarms. I had ADT, which is a silent alarm. If a break-in comes, it goes off in the central office. The police are notified. Somebody for the alarm. Then I'm notified. There's a chain of command. But anyhow, this one was still years and years ago. It was a local thing. So what they did is they would somehow because the box was right outside of the door when you go into the store. Somehow they would shoot sand in there. So when the alarm goes off, you can't hear it. You know, you can't hear it. It's a beautiful idea, you know.
Oh, it is great.
I thought it was pretty good. So now they break in the store, and now they're not going to take the boxes of shoes because where are you going to go? They take the shoes out of the boxes and they throw them in pillowcases. Okay? So they take them, then they know where to go and which one's shoe. They're our own customers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They knew where to go. The expensive stockings. We had socks back then. They were French socks. They were really, really nice. I probably had a few pair, but they're gone. And they back in the '60s, they were $8 a pair.
Holy
You know what I
fuck.
mean? I mean, it was like golden. We didn't even put them on the rack. We had them in a thing underneath, you know. So, anyways, they knew about those and they got them. So now Frank calls up our guy, you know, our sponsor, and he said that they broke in the store, and the guy didn't say anything. He says, "Okay, yeah, that's too bad." You know, 2 days later, he calls Frank back. He says, "What do you want the shoes?" What do you mean? What do we want the shoes? They found the guys who hit the store, and then we're making them return the shoes. Well, we can't take the shoes back because we just filed a fraudulent insurance claim. You know what I mean? All of it, the shoes are. We're making money.
Yeah.
Those guys are making money. That's how it was when you got robbed. You
Yeah.
know, or a flood or anything. You know, you embellished the numbers and you made money
Yeah,
right there. You know,
yeah.
balance your inventory. But the point I'm making. How quickly he found out who stole the shoes.
Yeah.
Now you go to the top boss of the outfit in Chicago and you rob his house. How quick is he going to find out? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? 7 guys involved in it. That ain't going to be a secret for long.
No.
A secret that only could be kept
By
by
one.
one guy. You know. Soon as you tell somebody, your life is in jeopardy.
Yeah. Oh man.
But I thought that was pretty ingenious. And then I guess Mel and both Mels, they saw the shoe store, the House for Italian
On
Shoes,
the training
in
video.
a training film. Yeah, it was like pretty interesting.
That is.
That was the only successful robbery of the store. There was one where now fast forward to Harlem Avenue. This is probably the '70s. Some asshole cuts through the roof of the store. So he gets in. Now he's in the attic. He cuts that space. Now there's a false ceiling, you know, in the circle he is now. And he cuts the circle and he drops down, which those are pretty high ceilings.
Yeah,
if
that
you
was
remember.
high,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was high. And he goes to the alarm in front. Again, he must have been a customer and turned that off. Okay. And then he's going to start his thing. But in the aisles, as you go into the aisles, underneath the rugs of the aisling, I had, there was mats under there, were also alarms. So when I set the alarm, I had one behind the wall, and then I had one as you go outside the door. Remember under
Yeah,
that
yeah.
thing, there was an alarm?
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to him, so the cops come, he's inside. He would have got caught anyhow because I didn't see any way out for the guy. I come there, they call me up, I come down there, it's the middle of the night, and the guy's in the building somewhere. He's in the ducts.
Oh
They
man.
were huge, the ducts.
Oh really?
Yeah, because they ran, the air conditioner came out of 2 hidden vents in the back that you didn't even know where they were. I mean, the store was like beautifully designed. So the air's coming out of there, but you don't know. But the ducts are real big. So this guy's somewhere up in the ducts, he's hiding up there. So now the cops are like, well, go in and get him. He said, no, I just got my pants out of the cleaners. I'm not going to go in there. And they're arguing back and forth. Nobody wants to go in there. So they call the dog, they get the dog, and he sniffed them out. And of course, we go to court and all that shit, and he has to make restitution. I got zero. I didn't get any except a big
Big
hole
hole.
and a lot of
Restitute that, motherfucker.
yeah. They should have sent the guy to jail, but I didn't want to say he was a moron. He
Yeah.
had no way out, you know.
Criminals
So most
are-
of the
Criminals are usually dumb.
yeah, this was extra dumb. So he had no escape plan, you know.
Yeah.
It was a half-assed plan. I don't know what the hell he was going to do.
That's fucking crazy. How about the company, the countries are falling right in line with Trump's tariffs, and you know everyone was all up in arms, freaking out, and it happened, and it's going down just like he
Yeah.
said it would. They're not.
But
gonna
we need a
wanna
big one. We need a big one here.
Yeah.
You know, to really bolster his case.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're coming around. They're coming around.
And they will, and because they don't
They
want to.
will. It's going to be tough, but it won't be tough for long. I just hope that he has it turned around before the midterm election, because they're really pumping themselves up about Wisconsin.
Oh,
But
my Lord.
it wasn't that big of a win. A slap against
But here's
Elon and all that.
here's the other thing. They can gerrymander and shift around
Right now they can.
all they
yeah.
want. Is this your jacket?
Probably.
They can do all they want with that because the thing is, all these other states like California, New York, Illinois, we're all losing electoral college votes, and places like Florida are picking them up. So it ain't gonna matter, you know. They're gonna need all the states that they didn't win and then some to be able to
Yeah.
turn it around, you know. I mean, that's the way I just don't think Wisconsin matters that much anymore.
No, not if we could win it in an election, because it's really, I mean, it's really blue. I mean,
Yeah.
Madison is the capital, and well, you see
Yeah.
your uncle and aunt.
Yeah.
Jeez. When we went there and they had the lawn sign, I thought Ma was going to go berserk.
Would they have a Biden sign?
No, this is way back, the Obama sign.
Oh.
Oh, jeez. I said, look at this.
Obama. What a farce.
Oh, my
He's
gosh.
the biggest piece of shit we've ever had.
Oh, my gosh. Did he do a number on the public? Wow.
And he likes men.
Mm.
And Michelle's a man.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. That's talk about pulling the wool over
Aye.
everybody's eyes. You
Aye.
know.
It's really something. It's really, really something that people, you know, they can't see it. I like Michelle has her podcast, and all she does every week is say how terrible Barack Obama
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh,
He does
I heard
this,
it's not
he does
doing
that.
too good. You know, I don't want to tune into it because they might use me as a statistic and jack up a rating.
Yeah, right. If
What is
some-
it on YouTube? Or
I don't
what?
know. I've
don't
never
either.
watched it, but
I
I just
haven't either.
I hear about it, and it's just you know, and see little snippets from there.
Yeah,
and-
she for me is very hard to look at.
Yeah.
I can't even. It's almost like a Satan, satanic person.
yes.
There's such evil in there.
Yes.
Jeez. When I pray
Very evil.
when I pray in the morning, I pray for the Democrats, but I just can't.
Nancy's very
I
evil
just can't
too.
believe that they believe anything other than this is it right here. You can't believe in the hereafter and live the way they're living. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, the greed is amazing. Oh my gosh.
It is. It is.
Oh. And then this guy, that's another guy I would love to find in a lonely alley, is that Schiff.
Oh my
Holy
gosh!
cow.
What a
I see him
What a
sitting
piece of
there
Schiff he
as a
is.
United States Senator in the largest state in the Union. This is what his reward was for all the lying, stealing, cheating, conniving.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
That's a bad one.
And he's a Jew, and he's an anti-Semite. That's the other part that blows my mind. You don't, you know, he's all pro-Palestine, this and that, and he's a Jew.
It
It's
goes
like,
to show
dude,
you.
why you don't care about nothing, man?
Absolutely nothing except what's happening right now. That's all he cares about. He's living in the moment. Man, they're going to spend a lot of time in a very, very warm place.
Aye.
Very warm, very hot.
It's
Jeez.
horrible.
Yeah, all you could do is, you just, yeah, did you ever see that movie with Jim Carrey?
Which
Where he
one?
promised the little boy that he wouldn't lie, that when I
No.
tell you I'm going to pick you up, going to pick you up. So it was a birthday wish, you know, the premise.
Yeah, yeah.
He couldn't lie for 24 hours, and he's a lawyer.
All right.
Oh,
right.
my God.
I think I might have
Oh,
saw parts of it.
the thing is great. Then Jim Carrey made some, I mean, and I know.
See, now he's a
whack
million
job.
times funnier than Will
Oh,
Smith.
my gosh, he was funny.
I think Jim Carrey might have played Biden some of those times when they used actors.
You think so?
Yeah.
I know he did that Andy Kaufman, and it was scary.
Right.
He was so much like him. It was like, holy cow. But I don't think he does anything now. I think he just paints and stuff.
And does Biden. Did
You
Biden
think
for
he's one of the
4
Biden
years.
guys?
I don't know, but they had at least 5 of them, including Joe himself.
How could they get the walk down? I mean, he had.
Well, they
he
got
did get a
actors.
weird-
They
oh,
got
geez.
actors that copy that shit. I mean, you could do it.
He had a strange. He had a strange gait to him.
How
you
about
know? It's
Val
like,
Kilmer
You always
drops?
look. Ah, jeez.
That's some. I have seen a couple of his movies. I saw The Doors.
Oh
movie.
my gosh, that was amazing.
And was he-
But he was a rock and roll guy.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why he killed the movie. It was great.
Was he in Rocky? One of those Rocky movies or no?
No, he was in Top Gun.
Oh.
That was and then they brought him back in the sequel. By then he already lost his voice box. He didn't say anything, but they didn't tell you that he couldn't talk, you know.
Right.
He had throat cancer. What a good actor.
Christian Scientist.
Oh, right, and he wasn't
He
taking
was a
care of
Christian
himself.
Scientist, yes.
Oh, I think I read that somewhere. I heard
Yeah.
it. I don't know. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he did kill that Doors movie.
Oh
he was
my
awesome in
gosh.
that.
You know what? I think a lot of these guys that do those autobiographical movies are excellent in them. I mean, look at the Jamie Foxx with the
Ray Charles. That was
Jeez.
excellent. Yeah.
the
I
guy
love that.
became Ray Charles. He was Ray Charles.
Okay, so we went to jam night last night. Me and Ryan and this other kid Kevin and there was this guy that played keyboard.
We're at that place you
at
go to?
Demito. No,
Oh,
not
different
at the,
place.
Yeah, not at the taco joint. At another place. This guy was so good, and he was playing Ray Charles, and he was fucking awesome. I was just like, dude, this is amazing. He was,
The piano?
yeah, well, you know, he had a
Oh.
keyboard.
Yeah, but
And it was all beat up, and you could see some of the keys were like halfway down and just beat to hell. And like he
Was
must
he a
play
black
this-
guy?
No, he was a white guy.
Oh.
His voice was a cross between Randy Newman and Tom Waits. I mean, he was pretty good. And then another weird thing was at the voting, when I worked at the voting thing last Tuesday, I saw a guy that looked exactly like Frenchie. I mean, it was so weird. Now I went to get Mary's attention and say, "Look, there's Frenchie," and
he
he's already
disappeared?
gone. Yeah, I mean, he
Oh.
didn't disappear.
Maybe it
but-
was Frenchie on the Lam. He's been undercover all this time.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
He was not. He didn't have the money to fake his own death. Plus, you know, the kids. That'd be brutal if he did.
Oh my God! For what reason? Yeah,
Yeah. Usually, you have something when you do that.
yeah.
Somewhere to go, or something to do, or something you've done. He, on the other hand, didn't fit that bill, so to speak. Let's see. I wonder how long we've been gone. How long do you think?
35 minutes.
58 minutes.
You're kidding.
No, man.
Oh, and I haven't told one joke.
Oh, well, you can
Jeez.
tell one if you want.
Oh. See what I got. See what I can conjure up here.
Mark's gonna have his teeth all pulled.
Oh, the mail order thing didn't work out.
Nah, yeah.
Oh, the guy's
And
amazing.
he's like, yeah, uh, this tooth is coming out. He goes, here's what happened. I think the last time the dentist fixed it, he glued that tooth to the tooth next to it. And I go, yeah, that's probably what he did. He glued your tooth to the other tooth.
It's a permanent bridge.
I go,
Don't need anything.
and I said, we should go get some epoxy at the hardware store and we can fix it right now.
Get
It's
that
probably the
flex, it'll
same
never
shit.
come out. You know that
Flex
one?
seal.
The guy, he's got the fish tanks leaking. He puts this. Did you see he made a boat out of paper? He put the flex seal around the paper. And
That's awesome.
I mean,
On the
I
original
used,
commercial, he used a screen door. He makes a boat out of a screen door.
oh, but this was actual paper. I used it to tape a pipe up. You know.
Yeah.
It came first time I saw it in a wide strip like that. Mm-hmm. And the tape was. I mean the pipe was on the ground. The pipe from my sub pump.
Right.
It had a pinhole in it, and when it would it would like whistle like crazy.
Oh, wow.
It took me 3 months to figure out what the
I thought you were
noise
gonna
was
say
coming
years.
from. No, I'm thinking, is it a raccoon giving
this an
birth? What is
animal?
going on here? Finally, I pinned it down, so I dig it up. The pipe. I see the hole. I thought I'll buy some of this flex shit. The wide tape. Have you
Yeah.
seen it?
No.
So I got rubber gloves on, and I'm taking the thing. It sticks to the gloves. I can't get. So I incorporate the glove right into the thing. Now I can't get it off. I can't. How do you even get to the end of it? You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to throw something away.
Yeah,
the shit is
impossible.
amazing.
Impossible to get a.
Right, it's absolutely amazing. He could do that and have nice dental work.
I'll tell you what, that aliens tape stuff, I use some of it and
I got 3 rolls downstairs.
I'll take it because I love it. At first,
That's
I
that
thought
clear
it was.
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that stuff works like a motherfucker.
I must be using it wrong.
I put it for my keyboard on my keyboard stand in the basement. I put it along the little, because it's got 2 pipes and you just lay the keyboard on top of it. It made it stick to the thing and it made it real solid. In my bedroom, I took one of those clear plastic shoe boxes with the plastic lid, and the lid's gone already. I don't know where it's at, but I put a piece of alien tape on there, stuck it to my wall above my bed, because our fucking remotes are so touchy that if we roll over on the remote, the TV turns on.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that. And I'm like, so after.
So it's a TV caddy.
So I stick the remotes in there and my glasses so I don't sleep on.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the end of rolling over onto the thing. And it's thanks to the alien tape. And you can get it off too. It's not permanent.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Ma sent in for it. Anyhow.
They sell it at the store now.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I've seen it on TV. 3 nuns are painting. They have to paint this room, and they're getting all new windows and treatments and stuff. And they decide that, to save our outfits from getting paint on, let's take them off. We'll do it in the nudes. And the nun said, yeah, that's a good idea, so we won't ruin our habits here. So they're painting the thing, and they knock on the door. And they say, who is it? Blind man. And they say, oh, let him in. The guy's blind. He won't know that we're nude or not, The guy he opens up the door, and he looks at the nun and says, nice tits. Where do you want these blinds?
I knew where that was going. I didn't know you were going to say nice tits. Though. I knew you were going to say, yeah, the curtain guy couldn't make it. I got these blinds or something.
Oh,
that was good. I
gosh.
like that. I like it a lot.
The shortest 2 words in the English language is I am, and the longest 2 words is, the longest sentence is I do.
The longest sentence, right.
I got to work on that one. I thought that was a pretty
That's
good one.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
It needs a little work.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I thought we were going to talk about the 40s and
Well, we'll do
the
that
good old
next time when
days, yeah.
Kiki's here, because we'll,
yeah, it'd be interesting for him too, you know.
we'll
I
see
mean,
if
sometimes I think back and, you know, and I'm like, geez, all the stuff that happened in my lifetime. It
it's
just
crazy.
absolutely, it just sneaks right by, you know what I mean? It's like, and it's so cool that I was on the tail end of a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
You know, when I think about it, a
it's an
lot of
amazing
stuff
time
changed.
period.
Yeah, very interesting. You know, now I'm on the street. It's 1945.
That's
Okay,
amazing.
I'm in action. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
in play. 46. I'm 7 years old. Yeah. So it was interesting times, but the beauty part about it is you had the freedom to do all that stuff.
Right.
It wasn't like.
Not now. You can't. You couldn't
Yeah,
do that.
you could be a 7-year-old kid walking down the street at 10 o'clock at night, and nobody's gonna, you know. I mean, I see these kids walking by. Oh, I see a little girl going by her on her scooter. What the hell? And the mother's way back there, unbeknownst to me.
Right.
I don't know if I'd let my.
Kid
It's
run
frightening.
loose.
It's,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
frightening.
I'm glad we didn't have that shit. We were able to run loose
Yeah. Oh my God. You guys were the tail end of it, the
Yeah,
absolute tail end of it.
yeah.
So yesterday, you know, Bentley's closed. I told you
Yeah.
that. So I'm out there looking in the window at Bentley's because you know I'm a snoop, and here comes 4 kids. There's 2 boys and 2 girls. I would guess them to be 10, 11. You know, they look like infants to me, of course. The girls got little shorts on. They're cute. You know, the little boy's cute, little blue eyes, and, you know. And she's harassing them, and she's like, you know, pointing at me. You're waiting. So I said, what's the matter with him? You know, playing along with her, you know. And I don't know what's wrong with him. And the kid, the little innocent angel kid, said, "It's that fucker who did it." You know, he punched it. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" It's like, I said to the little girl, "Do you have any soap? You can wash his mouth out." Yeah, oh, that's a good idea. But I mean, here they are. They look like innocent babes. I mean, but that's what it is today. That was like at the demonstration. I mean, the FUs that were flying out. And the finger, I'd love to snap it off.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that one gets me.
Yeah,
It
me
still
too.
gets me in the car or anything. And when they throw that finger
I agree.
and they
That's
go,
when I
when
want
they go
to
like
chase
this
them down.
behind you, like, you know, oh,
Yeah.
you dirty. Oh, shit.
Those motherless sons of bitches.
A pretty good picture there.
Yeah, it ain't bad, man. It ain't bad.
It'd be
The
interesting
computer.
how it sounds and all that.
Yeah. That you see our sound level popping?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for tuning into the Larry Needles Show. I'm Larry.
And I'm
That's
old
my
Joe.
dad. And I also got to say thanks to Tom's Free Clinic, Automotive and Veterinarian Services for supplying us with a new studio. It's quite an upgrade.
Very nice. Mm.
We got a couch now.
Comfortable.
We'll see what happens in the future. Maybe Tom will even hook us up with more.
I kind of miss the theme song, but
Well, you know what? I was kind of lazy, but I'll get it
Okay.
together next time.
it was fun.
Yes.
Nice
thank
chatting
you.
with you.
Yeah, thanks for doing that, Dad.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, brother.